These refugees in the port of Piraeus could be considered the lucky ones. They are free to come and go, and they've turned this asphalt into a home of sorts. The United Nations rapporteur for the human rights of migrants has criticized the policy of incarcerating new arrivals, including children, on Greece's eastern islands in overcrowded hotspots. A policy François Crépeau says stems from a flawed European Union deal that tasks Turkey with holding on to people trying to reach Europe.
Greece implements detention of children, and children should not be detained, period. The United Nations Committee on the Rights of the Child has determined that administrative detention can never, ever be in the best interest of a child.
Many asylum applicants have appealed against their rejections and await judgment in Greece. If they lose, they'll be sent back to Turkey, because that's where almost all of them entered Europe from. Abdullah, who says he's 16 but looks more like 14, says he had to work to pay people smugglers.
I am alone. I worked there because my father is 53 years old. He can't work. And I have sisters, they can't work. Just the men working in Syria. Okay, and I am Syrian boy, and I will work for my family. I worked 3 years.
No one wants to go back.
If they send us to Turkey, it's the best to send us to Afghanistan. Because in Turkey, in Afghanistan, we can find something for us to eat or to drink, but in Turkey, we can't.
Turkey has been overwhelmed with 2.5 million migrants and refugees. Saddling it with more underlines Europe's lack of vision, says Crépeau. Greece, too, has had its problems. 3 years ago, it was incarcerating refugees on the mainland, and there was no proper asylum system in place. Last year's flood of refugees caught authorities unprepared. But there is one area where the Greeks have been ahead of the curve. Much of the humanitarian effort that sustains the 54,000 refugees in Greece comes from volunteers. It's upon this spontaneous effort, Crépeau says, that Europe should build its migration policy. John Psaropoulos, Al Jazeera, Athens.